What's going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden J here. What's going on, everyone? I hope everyone is doing extremely well. Sadly, as a Mets fan, I am not doing extremely well. But you know what? Stop wasting any time. We're going to get into what we're going to be talking about on this stream today. Obviously, please, before we get started, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the post notifications so that you will never miss any streams, comments, all that great stuff. And then in today's stream, we are going to be going over the New York Mets and Cincinnati Reds series summary, which has a lot to talk about. We are going to be transitioning into the New York Mets versus Miami Marlins series preview. We're going to be talking about, what's going on with the front office, the trade deadline. We're going to be going over a lot of stuff. Some of it's good, some of it's bad. You know me, I'm a very negative Mets fan overall. So, I mean, listen. All baseball fans are very negative, but I'm probably the most negative person you could find out there. So, yes. So we're going to be going over that. But before we get started, like I said, smash that like button, subscribe. We got 13 people in the chat, LFGM. I appreciate everyone for tuning in, as always. So pretty much getting into the Mets and Reds series, we are going to get into Friday's game. Friday's game was not the best. Sadly, the New York Mets lost 6-2. Carlos Carrasco did make his Major League Mets debut, we should say. He obviously is a veteran, so he made his Mets debut, and he pitched pretty solidly, nothing too crazy. 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, surrendered 1 run, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Pretty solid for a guy who, is recovering from so much stuff, and then COVID, and then he got hurt, and then he missed a ton of time. Not too bad. The Mets did wear their black uniforms. It was the first time since 2012, I believe. And it was funny enough, the last person to pitch in a black uniform was the current pitching coach, Jeremy Hefner. So found that a little funny. But point is, the Mets wore their black jerseys, so that was pretty cool to see. But Carrasco pitched pretty solidly, nothing too crazy. Then we had Castro come in for an inning, surrendered 2 hits, a run, 0 walks, and 1 strikeout. We had Drew Smith come in. And Drew Smith, we've been starting to see Drew Smith really be used a lot when the Mets are losing. And I really want, Louis Rojas to start using Smith more when we have a lead. Because I feel whenever Drew Smith is on the mound, we're down by 5 or down by 1. I want them to start using him when we have a lead. I think that would kind of be pretty cool. So that was Smith. We had Anthony Banda come in for 2 innings, 4 hits, a run, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. We had Jeff McNeil come in. Jeff McNeil was pretty hot this series, not going to lie. He had RBI double, and then Brandon Drury also had an RBI double. So obviously we only got 2 runs. The offense wasn't crazy, of course, but we sadly, unfortunately, lost. No 9th inning comeback or any of that great stuff. But you know what? It happens. It's baseball. In terms of Saturday's game was pretty interesting. The Mets won 5-4, and as most of you guys know, I was live on this channel Saturday night. We got the walk-off reaction. I'm sure most of you guys have seen my walk-off reactions, and they're really cool. So if not, check that video out. I did put the time spot when the walk-off happened. If you want to see my reaction, please do that. Saturday's game, the Mets won 5-4. We had Rich Hill, a.k.a. Dick Mountain, on the bump. Rich Hill pitched pretty okay, I guess, for a 41-year-old. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 4 runs, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. So pretty solidly, nice left-handed pitcher. Typically, the Mets don't get a whole lot of left-handers pitching in terms of their team, so it's pretty great to see him on the bump. But pretty much Rich Hill is pretty awesome. He has an awesome break in the curve, and he's 41 years old, like I said. He's a lefty. The Mets lack left-handed pitching, especially in the bullpen. So I wouldn't be opposed to putting Rich Hill in the bullpen once we get a full rotation back. Rich Hill pitched pretty solid, nothing crazy. We had Yennsy Diaz, Jeurys Familia, Seth Lugo, Aaron Loop, Trevor May, and Edwin Diaz come in. So we really taxed our bullpen that night. We thought we taxed our bullpen last week. Look what we did in one night. And then but I will say, the con of taxing our bullpen was we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bullpen pitchers come in and 0 earned runs. So that was awesome. I thought that was great. So always great to see. We had Jonathan VR, of course, in terms of the offense. He had an RBI single. We had Javier Baez hit his first home run as a New York Met, a 2-run homer to center field. So that was pretty cool to see. The crowd went wild. Everyone loves Javier Baez. So yeah, great to see Javier Baez get a 2-run homer, get something going for the Mets. Then we went into the bottom of the 9th inning, which I did go live for. Dominic Smith came up to the dish on a 1-2 count. All I needed was one more strike or a swing or a ground out. Game's over. 1-2 count. If you guys saw my reaction, hopefully you did. He had a base hit over the glove of Jonathan India, just like this much, so close to drive in Luis Guillorme from second base for the tying run. So that was awesome to see. And then obviously we went into extra innings. Edwin Diaz got in a little jam, but he got out of it, surrendering nothing. So that was awesome. He got out of the jam, but like we said, he got out of it. And then Brandon Drury, who is honestly the Mets MVP at this rate, came in the bottom of the 10th with the runner on second. We know that extra inning rule, obviously. And then simply enough, he hit an opposite field base hit single to drive in the winning run. Edwin Diaz gets eligible for the win. The game was just awesome. What we saw in this Mets team, I was hoping you could transition later on, but just knowing the Mets, they find a way, and then the next day they manage to mess something up. So it was pretty good to see. This game really had some emotions. And if you guys do want to see the reaction, I did go live for that. So please check that out and let me know what you think about that. But in terms of Sunday's game was probably the biggest L I've just ever seen as a Mets fan. Sunday's game was just horrific. The Mets lost. Big surprise. Stroman, he pitched pretty solidly. Nothing crazy from Stroman. 5.2 innings pitched, 8 hits, 4 strikeouts, a walk. So yeah, nothing crazy. He pitched well. Unfortunately, that splitter slider really came into action. There were a couple pitches on the splitter slider that didn't split enough in time, and it kind of, surrendered some hard hit contact to give up a home run, which it sucks, but you know what? It's how baseball goes sometimes. It really does. So in terms of that, pretty good outing for Stroman, nothing too crazy. And then we had Miguel Castro come in, Yandy Diaz, and Drew Smith. Quiet. They did their job. They did everything they needed to do. So great to see those guys get everything done. Great to see those guys, especially the bullpen, get everything done. We know how important the bullpen is. So they came in. We had Hartleb, who was called up from AAA, who pitched in the 9th inning, and we're down by 4 runs. He comes in, an inning pitched, 2 hits, 3 runs, and 3 walks. And then as this is going on, you have Aaron Loop warming up in the bullpen. And I'm thinking to myself, why are you going to warm someone up when we're down by 7 runs? Like, explain that to me. It makes 0 sense. And, you're wasting Loop's arm. Listen, he wasn't pitching. He was having a light toss. But knowing the Mets is going to get injured from freaking falling off a baseball, I don't know. Just made 0 sense. And then in terms of the offense, we were getting no hit into 5 innings. So that just really says a lot. The offense was dead this game. 3 hits and a run. Jeff McNeil was the only guy who did jack. Jeff McNeil had a solo home run in this game, and that was it. They called it. The Mets offense didn't want to do anything. And it wasn't even against a left-handed pitcher. So everyone says, oh, left-handed pitcher. No, that was not the issue today. So yeah, that is that. But please, everyone, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment. I will get to all the comments after my recaps, as I always do. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, drop them below. I read every comment. Don't worry. So yeah, that was the Mets and Cincinnati Reds series summary. The Reds took the series 2-1. Nothing great. I mean, just unfortunate series overall. So now, obviously getting into the New York Mets and Miami Marlins series preview. I would like to actually point out that I am actually going to the Marlins game on Thursday. It is a 12-10 game, and I will be in attendance. So we all know the Mets good luck charm is here. I have the Marlins jersey, but I'll probably wear my Alonso or DeGrom jersey. So we'll see. But in terms of game 1, Game 1 is tonight at 7:10. Is Monday, obviously. 7:10 Eastern Standard Time. We will have Tyler Mcgill on the bump for the Mets. Tyler Mcgill has great stuff this season. A win-loss record of 1-0, 2.04 ERA, and 39 strikeouts. That's pretty magnificent for a rookie pitcher who no one really cared or knew about coming into the season. So yeah, awesome to see. I really have no complaints with him. Just my only thing for Tyler Mcgill is to lower that pitch count. I mean, he's effective. He gets the job done. He'll go 6 innings. He'll go 5 innings. I would just like him to lower the count because maybe he can go a bit longer, or, maybe towards the 6th inning, he starts to be, a bit more effective, if that makes sense. So that's my only complaint for Tyler Mcgill. Otherwise, I think he is marvelous. And honestly, I mean, he got some votes for Pitcher of the Month and Rookie of the Month behind Walker Buehler for pitcher and Jonathan India for rookie. So that was pretty cool to see. But we got 17 people in the chat. Please, everyone, give this video a like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. Now, Game 2, which will be Tuesday's game, also at 7:10 Eastern Standard Time. Taiwan Walker will be on the bump. 7-5 record, 3.71 ERA, 97 strikeouts, and he's really looking for a boost back. I don't know. Walker is really, really looking for something. He is coming off, 4 bad starts. Simply enough, coming back from the All-Star break, he's really been struggling since. I don't know if, if it was a good first half. I don't know. But hopefully Walker could really figure it out. The Mets pitching really, really needs him, especially with guys like DeGrom is out. And to talk about DeGrom briefly, DeGrom has unfortunately suffered a setback due to forearm tightness, and he's being shut down for 2 weeks. So it's probably not going to come back till at least September, because shut down for 2 weeks, and then they're probably going to send him to rehab if you're missing that much time. And he's not getting the innings, so I mean, I hate to say it, but could he still win? Cy Young? Could he still win? Could he still be eligible for the best ERA, the most strikeouts? That's my concern. WHIP. Listen, DeGrom's health is more important than an award, yes, because it affects the team overall, but DeGrom has to be healthy. So, yeah, we're going to have to see with that. But now Game 3, which is Wednesday at 7:10. It'll be Carlos Carrasco on the bump for the Mets. Carrasco, obviously, I didn't see anything crazy with him. He looked pretty solid last outing. He's coming back from an injury and missing so much time. So if he can go 5 innings, I really hope that would be my goal for him. Carlos Carrasco is a great pitcher. He's has some great chemistry with this team so far. The nickname Cookie, who doesn't love that? So yeah, if he can go 5 innings pitched, that'd be my hope for him. For the Marlins, obviously the first 2 starters for the Marlins are TBD. And then for Game 3, it'll be Zach Thompson, who I couldn't tell you much about, but 2-4 in the season, 2.33 ERA, 41 strikeouts. He has a nice cutter from what we've seen. He doesn't throw, super hard, low velocity. He doesn't throw gas, nor does he, throw hard contact. So hopefully the Mets typically don't do well against soft contact pitching. So hopefully guys like Nimmo, Davis could kind of take some advantage of that. And then Game 4, which is the game I'm going to. So that's going to be something. Game 4 will be Thursday at 12:10. Early start, very early. Usually they're 1:10. I don't mind it. 12:10, we will have Rich Hill on the bump. The thing with Rich Hill is he's effective. He gets the job done. It's a nice lefty matchup that day. He has the nice curveball. He doesn't throw crazy. His pitches have great break and great movement. My only concern for Rich Hill is that he's older. So obviously, like I stated before, I would want him in the bullpen because he'll give you 3-4 solid innings. But then, you go into the 4th, 5th, or 6th inning and he'll just ignite and just blow it. So that's my concern with Hill. I mean, I would say let him go 4 and then get out of here. So that's really all I got to say with Rich Hill. And then in terms of Trevor Rogers, he's definitely chilled down quite a bit. 7-6 in the season, 2.45 ERA, 129 strikeouts. Like we said, he has been very, very iffy in his last 4 starts. Definitely limits walks, so that's very, very good to see. So that's it with the Mets and Marlins series. Nothing too crazy, honestly. I think it'll be pretty interesting. We got some good matchups coming up this Mets and Marlins series. The Marlins, they always give us a run for their money. It's just I don't know what it is. the Marlins they're a terrible team, and they just always manage to give us a run for our money. Especially, Lone Depot Park now, it's not the best ballpark for our hitters, but guys like Pete Alonso seem to do well there. Pete Alonso, I think, got his first career home run there. So that'll be pretty cool. Maybe I'll get to see that. But, nothing too crazy overall with the Mets and Marlins. It's a 4-game series. I'm hoping we could split it. I'm pretty confident in Tyler Mcgill. Carlos Carrasco, I don't have too much to say with him. He's not a Cy Young, but he's not a Jared Eichhoff. So I'm hoping Carlos Carrasco could try to get something done. And then obviously it's going to be something with this Mets team going into this Marlins series, simply to rant off, honestly, with what went down with the Mets this week. It really was not good. It was pretty bad. We saw the trade deadline go down. We got Javier Baez. Everyone's like, oh, Javier Baez, yay, El Mago, yay. But it's like, you'd rather Baez over Bryant or Story. Let me say this. If the Rockies think they're going to re-sign Trevor Story, yeah, they're on something, because they're clearly doing it for the draft picks, let's be real. But that's going to be weird to see. Simply enough, getting into this week with the Mets, it was probably one of the worst weeks I have seen with this Mets this season so far in the front office. I don't like to give Steve Cohen so much attention of mine. He's the owner. He can only have so much. It really goes to Sandy Alderson and acting. I'm going to say acting because everyone thinks he's going to be here forever. He's the temporary GM. I'd rather someone like Mcneil take over as GM, move him up and demote him. They only have so much power. But the big issue with the Mets this season has just been the front office. They've been very secretive. And then obviously, Sandy Alderson and all these guys, they want to be like the Dodgers. But, you look at it this season, the Dodgers this week went out and got Trey Turner and Max Scherzer. What did the Mets get? 41-year-old Rich Hill and Javier swinging Baez? I mean, that's not a Dodgers move. I understand it takes 3 to 5 years, but, first impressions are a big, big, big thing with anyone, really. So I don't know. It's just this week itself, and then you have the Kumar thing, which also doesn't add anything to it. But simply with the Mets, I don't get it. Like I said, the Mets want to be like the Dodgers. They're given the opportunities. This week, we traded for Javi Baez, and in return, we give up a top 5 prospect. Top 5. We're not like the Dodgers, where we have, 10 prospects or 20, 30 prospects that are in like the top 200 of the MLB power rankings in terms of prospects. That is my issue. I don't know. Simply enough, with this Mets team, it's going to be something. But like I said, we went away this week, and what did we do? We traded away Pete Armstrong, a top 5 prospect, for a possible guy who may not even resign. Javier Baez, he's a cheap rental. Cool, I get that. But is he going to resign? You tell me. I don't know. So that's my huge concern with what we saw in this Mets team this week. You're trading away top 5 prospects for a guy who's going to be a cheap rental. What else is there to add? I want you guys to name 3 outfield prospects that we have that are at least their ETA is 2023. You have Khalil Lee, Carlos Cortez, and that's it. I understand, Pete Armstrong, he was injury prone. I get that. But I think the biggest issue comes down to is you never know with these prospects. It really is a lottery ticket. Watch Pete Armstrong come up and be like the next Jarren Duran. And he has similarities. Just a speed on the base pass. He's fast overall. He definitely needs to work with that bat a little bit. He is a little premature. Obviously, he is 19, so he definitely needs some time to really start to, really get around. So it's just overall not a very good week for the Mets. And then you have the whole Kumar Rocker thing, which it's just, I don't even know what to get with that. You have Kumar Rocker, who MLB really needs to change how they do this draft thing with the physicals. They need to have the team, because I question, like everyone says, there were 9 teams ahead. You had the Angels. My question is, do these teams speak with each other and see something in Kumar Rocker? I don't know. Each team, MLB needs to change this up. They need to have doctors from their point of view, not an outside doctor that says something, because now they're saying everything was fine, but then they're saying with Kumar, he spoke with the people at Vanderbilt and they said something wasn't fine. So I don't know what to say anymore. It's just really embarrassing that this went down. Yes, we get compensated with an 11th round pick next year. So yeah, it's better than getting nothing. But simply enough, it's not good. You never like to see it. So that's really all I had. I mean, I'm going to save most of the ranting for later in the week. We are going to have plenty more streams. So I'm probably just going to dedicate a whole stream to it itself. So if you guys are interested in that, I hope you guys check that out. But quickly getting into the comment section. I know we have a ton of comments. We definitely will get over that. If anyone does have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to drop them below in the comment section. I will read all of them, hopefully. And yeah, so first question. So we have from John. What's going on, John? Cubs Nation, Ashley, Connor, what's going on, my man? Hope you're doing well. Alexander, Logan. From Nick is pretty much saying, to make things more crazy, the Mets have not played the NL powerhouses, the Dodgers or the Giants. Yeah, dude, that's pretty interesting to say. I don't know who put the Mets and the Mets playing the Dodgers and Giants back to back, but yeah, that really makes no sense. And then earlier in the season, you had the Mets going to Colorado, then you had them going to Chicago. I mean, you want to put them in Buffalo and Minnesota at this rate? Yeah, the MLB scheduling really needs to be checked out a lot. But yeah, I agree. Good vibes, of course. Appreciate it. Hope you like the countdown. Very creative, as always. What's going on, John? Baseball's in the air. Good to see Javier Baez helping out against a left-handed pitching already. Yeah, that's true. That is true. It's definitely good to see what Javier Baez could do against left-handed pitchers. We know that was really, I think, the only reason, or a big vast of a reason on why they wanted to sign Javier Baez. Simply was because he has a good on-base percentage in terms of left-handed pitching, which the Mets really lack being effective and producing against left-handed pitching. And we've seen it so much this season. And, for a Mets team that wants to be a playoff team, if you're facing the Brewers, where you have 3 lefties, and then you have Josh Hader, or the Padres, well, you're going to be in a predicament. So going to be an issue. But Marco, what's going on, man? AB, what's going on? I appreciate you guys for tuning in. From Stony, hi, Hayden. How are you, bro? Hopefully we win the Marlins. Yeah, I mean, listen, like we said, the Marlins, don't be fooled. They're not, don't be fooled by their record. We know the Marlins are a good team, but they always give us trouble. They put us, they bring us a show for our money. So that'll be something that we're gonna have to see going ahead. But yeah, I appreciate you tuning in, man. Smash that like button. Yes, I like that, Louis. Smash that like button. If you are not subscribed to the channel already, please do. Post notifications. And if you have any comments, we have 17 people in the chat. If any of you guys have comments or questions pertaining to the Mets, the Red Sox, MLB, the weather, drop them below. What's going on, YouTube Productions? They should wear the black uniforms more. Yeah, Zach, I agree. The black uniforms are nice. I don't know if you did catch that they were talking about it on the broadcast, that in order to have a full-time uniform, you have to submit the paperwork, forms, whatever you want to call it, 2 years prior. So we would have had it done up by 2019, theoretically. And MLB said that if you want to have a temporary uniform, you could wear it 5 times in the season. And now it makes sense because we only have 5 home games on a Friday left. So that's why they waited so long for the black jerseys. I'm sure they'll do it for the second half, or the second half coming into 2022, my bad. And then hopefully by 2023, they do have those down, because I will agree with you. Those are very, very, very nice uniforms. And it brings so many throwbacks back. So that'll be pretty cool. Hopefully the Mets could definitely wear those more. Cole, what's going on, man? Hopefully you are doing well, my friend. Axford got traded to the Brewers for $1. Interesting. Very interesting. Appreciate you tuning in, Owen. Michael, LFGM, what's going on? Karen, what's going on? Cole is out of the lineup. Thank Lord. Yeah, let's go over the lineup. If you guys, I could definitely tune into the lineup. Let's see. Let's see what's going on with the lineup tonight. Stand by. So going into the Mets lineup. Stand by. Let's see what this Mets lineup is tonight. So the Mets lineup tonight for the Miami Marlins game. Brandon Nimmo leading off, and it says Brandon Nimmo is playing right field. I don't know if that is an error on their behalf or if that's true. But then you have Pilar. Okay, so it says Brandon Nimmo is playing right field, leading off. I don't know if that's an accident or if that's true. Alonso batting second. He's been playing well in the second spot. We all know nowadays a lot of your guys who are responsible for RBIs and driving in runs bat second. So Alonso batting second, Mcneil batting third, Baez batting fourth. JD Davis is back in the lineup after 3 days off. He will be batting fifth. Dom Smith playing left field will be batting sixth. James McCann, catcher, seventh. Pilar will be in center field, so he'll be taking over Nimmo's spot, the shift over. He'll be batting eighth. And then Tyler Mcgill, who will be on the bump, obviously, will be batting ninth. But yeah, okay, never mind. It wasn't. Okay, yeah, Brandon Nimmo's playing center field. I was going to say that didn't seem right. Baseball's may have fire Sandy Alderson now. Yeah, I got to agree with you, man. I mean, Sandy, this isn't 2000 and, 1990 with the Oakland A's. I mean, this is a Mets team that is with, the Mets have the prospects. We have the money. Actually, I take that back. We don't have the prospects necessarily, but we have guys like Mauricio who could easily be traded. And then you have the money. So I don't see why we are trying to preserve every bit of money. And, we didn't even go over, the luxury cap this season. And it's just, Cleveland, they were eligibly tradable right there to get us near it. I don't get it. But yeah, Sandy Alderson and Zach Scott, I agree. I'm really not too big on them anymore. Yes, Sandy, he was executive of the year 2015, but it's a new era now. I want Cohen to bring in his own guys, take Sandy, take Zach Scott, yeet him away. And that's why I was really surprised. And it's crazy to think that a lot of these guys are still here. I mean, they fired Chili Davis after 2 weeks of no offense, and we've been looking at this for like 2 months. So, Quattlebaum, whatever the heck that guy's name is who's acting, he needs to bye-bye. Yeah, Hill is, Hill, I mean, he definitely been around for a while. And he has some great history, great nickname. Rich Hill has 1,000 career innings pitched, so he's really old. I have to agree with you on that. Howdy, what's going on? Christopher, what's going on? El Mago, yes, I agree, Michael. Mets have some good nicknames. We have El Mago, Polar Bear, Flying Squirrel. Who else we have? Superman for Kevin Pillar. Thor. We don't have the Buffalo anymore. We have some pretty good usernames, though. Conceal, what's going on, man? I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for joining. Amir Gare is not like Javier Baez. Yeah, nah, it's, in terms of real life and during a sport, definitely an age difference. I appreciate you tuning in, Owen, always. Game was crazy. Yeah, game was crazy. This series was just weird. What's going on, Logan? What's going on, Giovanni? The Mets offense needs to wake up and start being consistent. I agree with you, man. I agree with you. Pete Alonso was robbed of those 2 or 3 hits yesterday. Yeah, those were hit well. I mean, the XBA on that was just there. And I mean, what was it, 110 or something off the bat? So that really shows something. Loop should have started that inning. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Mets fan, Matt. I know you're talking about what was it, yesterday's game in terms of closing it out. I agree with you. I mean, the fact is you put Hartlub in, and then it makes no sense that, the Mets had the opportunity at the deadline to go after a left-handed pitcher, any pitching, honestly. And what did we do? We said, nah, we're going to take, you had Ian Kennedy, you had Kyle Gibson. Kyle Gibson played great yesterday for the Phillies. No runs through 5, and then this is what we get. So I agree with you, man. It's very upsetting, but yeah. Ivan Dose, what's going on? Alexander, Mets fan Matt. Yeah, I'll switch my attire. I definitely will. Walker is concerning. I have to agree with you, Devin. He is very concerning coming into the second half. Cubs Nation, what's going on? Scratic, what's going on? Kobe. I agree. I really hope DeGrom could simply get healthy soon. I mean, what comes to the concern now is, is it because of his age? He's 33, or is it because he's throwing harder? And I think it's really because he is throwing harder. I mean, he's throwing 101, 102 miles per hour for velocity, and first pitch, and even to the 60th pitch. So I really think it goes to show that this really has an effect on these guys. Rich Hill needs to be in a retirement home. Fernando, well, I think he's a little too young for that. LFGM, of course, Kobe. DeGrom, in a month, will need surgery. I could see it happening. Don't jinx it, knock on wood. You know what? Do I think he really is going to need surgery for forearm tightness? The thing with DeGrom is, like I said, he's throwing harder and he's swinging the bat. Simply enough, DeGrom, I would say to DeGrom, we loved your offense. Don't swing the bat. Because obviously the swing is from the oblique, so that causes that. And then you have the forearm tightness, and that's probably from throwing or basic stuff like that. But the oblique is pretty serious, and that's obviously from swinging the bat. The Mets offense, yeah, I agree with you, Jed. It really does. Pretty cool how the big three former Cubs, Rizzo, Baez, and Bryant all homered. I did see that. That was pretty cool. Yeah, Baez against the Reds. Yeah, I did see that. That was pretty cool. What's going on, Vincent? I hope you're doing well. Facts, of course. Carlos Beltran is manager. Hey, I'll take it at this rate. Cullen, make it happen. I'll give him a ring. Beltran had a chance. Yeah, he did. You know what? And with Carlos Beltran being manager, I always love former Mets, Piazza, Beltran, anyone that has a good history with the Mets, come back to this team and, whether it's as a hitting coach or a pitching coach or help or just taking BP with the guys. I mean, that'd be awesome. I mean, during, warm-ups and practice, maybe have a little catch, maybe do some fundamental, infield drills with them. I think it's great, to just have that connection. Physically, they could observe, and then verbally they could communicate. I think that's awesome to have like a guy like David Wright go out there for a day and, maybe, have a light toss with JD Davis, teach him some third base skills. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. What are we going to do with Mcneil? What are we going to do with Mcneil once Beatty or Vientos comes up if we resign Big Baez? Well, that's a great question. So, Mcneil is obviously going to play second base. Simply enough, taking a look at Jeff McNeil, he plays best at second base. Jeff McNeil's natural position is a second baseman. He feels the most comfortable there, he has stated. He's played there in the minor leagues. That's his main position. Also to say, the fact that he feels more comfortable on that side, he stated he plays much better on the right side of the field than the left side. He said on the right side of the field, he said that he sees the ball come off the bat much better than on the left side of the field. And then also, Jeff McNeil is on fire right now. And then simply enough, I don't want to take anything away from Jeff McNeil. He's happy offensively. He's very productive. He had a 16-game hitting streak. His power's been coming back. We've been seeing little sparks of it. I want to make Jeff McNeil as happy as he could be, and I want to leave him at second base. I think what's going to happen is, if once Jeff McNeil if he goes to third, which McNeil does not play well at third, I think what's going to happen is they're going to talk to Baez and just say, listen, McNeil is really not playing well at third base. Be a team player. Play at third base next to your buddy Lindor. So that's what's going to have to come. But in terms of your question, Brenman, what are we going to do with McNeil once Beatty or Vientos comes up if we resign Baez? That's going to be a good question. Obviously, Beatty is probably 2 years away, at least 3 years tops, and then probably same for Vientos. Beatty's third base, so he'll play there, obviously. If we're going to – and that's really interesting because I never thought about that. We were talking about J.D. Davis, and I thought he would have been gone at the deadline. And then obviously, I thought we would have had Bryant, but just like any other time we have a prospect, they'll get some reps in. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting scenario. LFGM, absolutely. We are seeing signs of the old Jeff McNeil. He slaps the ball around and puts it in the infield well. I agree with you, man. I really agree with you there. Bring back Beltran and Porter. We need them. World Series, here we come. I'm down to Fernando, I am down to Carlos Beltran. I really am. LFGM, I appreciate it, Gio. I think we will sign Baez this offseason because Lindor and Baez are best friends. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, we've seen one series with Baez. I kind of like what I saw. You know, he definitely swings the bat. He's very aggressive. But, you know, there are times where don't be aggressive and, you know, just take some pitches. But, yeah, I think Baez could definitely have some nice stuff with this team ahead. Saw Darling pitch in his prime and have enjoyed his broadcasting career ever since. Yeah, Dalton, I agree. Ron Darling, the Mets probably have one of the best broadcasters in the game. I mean, you have an all-star, you have Garrett Cohen, you have great guys. You have a former, 1979 MVP, I believe, Keith Hernandez. So always great to see. And then I know this weekend we had Matlock, Darling, get inducted, and Alfonso too get inducted into the Mets Hall of Fame. So that was really great to see. But yeah, I agree with you. Ron Darling is definitely a great inspiration to the game. Definitely one of the first players that I really, really was starting to focus on when I was younger. And, you know, going over the 1986 Mets. Something special about the Mets team, Devin. Something is special about this team. I can't agree. The black Met jerseys are better than the Mets crop. The black jerseys are nice. I can agree with you, Fernando. The black jerseys are very nice. I definitely have some. I have a Piazza one, and I enjoy them. Jed, LFGM, of course. We should get Chris Bryant in the offseason, get rid of Davis. Yeah, the thing is, I think the Giants are probably going to extend him, to be honest with you. I think the Giants are probably going to extend him. All these guys are rentals. Honestly, I think the Giants are going to extend him. I think the best bet in terms of third base we have is what's his name? Trevor Story. Like I said, the Rockies, they want to get the prospects for him. Trevor Story's going to leave. He's clearly not happy there. Let's be real. So, yeah, Trevor Story is our best bet. I think DeGrom is really getting fatigue, and it's part of going that is true. I mean, a lot of guys we expected, especially pitchers, whether it was injuries or how they played their performance, it was going to be different because you have a small sample size and then you put it into a bigger sample size of innings and at-bats and reps. So guys like David Peterson, a lot of people were very high in him, including myself, but we only judged him in, 6, 7, 8 starts rather than maybe 28 starts. So that was something we definitely had to be cognizant about. And I'll admit, I kind of did fail on that. But I agree with you. I think definitely the fatigueness from not having as many starts is definitely something. Yeah, Piazza's out there. He is. LFGM, I appreciate it. Kobe, Vincent, Baez. Yeah, Baez, he could play third base. I mean, he's played shortstop. It's 15 feet away, 10 feet away. I mean, if you want to use the metric system, it's like 4 meters away. It's really not that bad. He has he has a cannon of an arm. He could throw. I mean, he makes errors. Okay, so does Tatis. I mean, and a lot of his errors are throwing errors. So, I mean, it's not like he's defensively messing up. From Robert Hayden, would you like to see Chris Bryant on the Mets this offseason? Yeah, it's just, I think, like I said, I think the Giants are probably going to re-sign him. I mean, I don't know what's going to come down for the Giants this season. I don't know I think it's going to be if they make the playoffs, how far they get. They're probably going to want Chris Bryant. Let's be realistic. So, I think I would love him. And that's why I think it comes to the point now is, we got Javier Baez, and then you're going to get Bryant, and then you ditch Baez. This whole front office really created a mess for us this coming offseason. So it's going to be an issue. Let Conforto walk and put Mcneil in right field. Yeah, I mean, it is part of the right side. Like I said, in terms of Conforto, I'm giving him a qualifying offer. He's very streaky, Conforto. I'm giving him a qualifying offer. I'm not giving him any more than 17, 16 million. Absolutely not. Give him a qualifying offer. If he accepts it, he is a Scott Boras client, which, he's put in the same sentence. Scott Boras is a client of Alex Rodriguez. Yeah, that really says a lot. So Scott Boras, he's a tough guy. He likes to encourage his guys to get the most pennies they can. If they can get an extra penny, he will go for it. He really pushes for his guys, which is great. But he definitely becomes a pain. The Mets haven't really had too much history with him, and now we kind of are. So especially he was Kumar Rocker's agent, so that also brings up another issue itself. I don't know about that, to be honest with you. I really like Mcneil at second base. And in terms of Conforto, I'm giving him a qualifying offer. I mean, Mcneil has played some times there. I really prefer Baez at third base, to be honest with you guys. I mean, for a game, I wouldn't mind it, like Mcneil in right field. But letting Conforto walk is really something. I mean, that'll really be something. And watch it come back and really put a stab in our wounds. Here's a question, Hayden. How many years we signed Baez for? Yeah, I mean, let's take a look at Javier Baez. Let's see how old he is. I just want to make sure. I think he's 28 years old. I mean, the thing with Baez is he's looking for around $200 million, and I don't think the Mets are going to want to do that. I'm not even talking about the luxury cap or the tax. I think that's going to be abolished anyway next CBA. But he wants $200 million. I mean, that's the same that Conforto wanted for his 2020 performance, 60-game performance, and that's not Javier Baez. I could see anywhere from a 6-year, 5-year range with maybe an opt-out in, but I'm not giving this dude $200 million, to be honest, though. Yeah, good question, though. Good question. We should have gone exactly. I mean, Buxton maybe not, just because, I mean, you have Nimmo, and that would have sent someone away. But obviously, you have Nimmo in center field. Buxton, he's injury prone. So do you really want to add another injury prone guy to this roster? When he's healthy, he's elite. Don't get me wrong, Robert. He is elite when he is healthy. But I would just be too concerned that he gets hurt. And then Maeda was a great option. He was probably one of the third or fourth best starting pitchers that were available that we could have went for. We neglected him. And then Josh Donaldson, he's better third base than our current situation. So with Davis at least. So I agree, man. It's going to be something. But yeah, please, everyone, if anyone has any more comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to drop them in the comment section below. Turn on post notifications, all that great stuff. Like I said, Mets, they have a big week coming up. Obviously, we play the Marlins. That's a pretty big series, and don't be fooled by their record, because like I said, they always give us a hard time. But simply enough, I mean, then we have, I think it's in mid-August, where we're facing Dodgers, Giants. I mean, whoever created that schedule, that is going to kill us. You're going to have pretty much, 2.5 weeks of one of the best teams in baseball. I think someone stated it up before. So I don't know. I think that's really going to be the real test. If we are actually, if the Mets are serious or not, that's going to be a test. It really is. So hopefully, Dodgers. I mean, to point it out last year, everyone was all nervous. Oh, when the Dodgers acquired Trey Turner and Max Scherzer, everyone was really nervous. And believe it or not, for me being the most negative person out there, I wasn't really that concerned. I said to myself, you're having a down year from Bellinger. You're having a meh year from Mookie Betts. I wasn't that concerned. This is just the Dodgers. I'm not talking about the Giants now. And then simply enough with the Dodgers, in 2019, when we faced them 6 times. We took 2 out of 6. But theoretically, Edwin Diaz blew 2 of them. One at Citi Field, one at Dodger Stadium. So that's 4, theoretically, without Diaz, with the typical closer that could have closed it. So that's 4 out of 6 from an elite team. So, it's just the Mets offense needs to wake up. That's all. I think our pitching could maybe task the Dodgers. Offense, obviously, but they're going to wake up. Logan, what's going on? Devin, the next stream. Yeah, so as usually, I do these streams pretty much 2 or 3 a week at least. As you know, I think you were in my stream with the walk-off. Whenever the Mets go into extra innings and there's an opportunity for a walk-off, I like to go live for that to get my reactions. We are 5-1 on those, so that's a good luck charm there. And then simply enough, I do streams for series summaries, recaps. If anything big happened, I'd obviously stream it if I couldn't make a video in time. But yeah, I appreciate you curious about that. From Joe, I heard the talks with the Twins broke down because they wanted Mcneil and Alvarez. Yeah, and that's what happened is the Blue Jays, they give up, what was it, their 2nd and 4th prospect. We're talking about flourishing the farm away, Twins, I don't know what you're on, but we're not giving you our first prospect and a top 5 second baseman at the same time. I mean, I would have gave the Mauricio and someone else not named Jeff McNeil, sure, but that's way too much. And I mean, the Blue Jays, they were in need for starting pitching. Obviously, they're in a really compact AL East, so that makes sense. But yeah, I did hear about that, Joe, and that really made me cross my eyes once that tweet came out. And I said, I swear, if the Mets go through with this, I will never, ever want to watch a game again. From Stoney, well, we might be able to sign the whole team because Cohen is a billionaire. She should play. So you play better good first. Yeah, you never know. I mean, we're going to have to see what Cohen has on the mind this offseason. It's going to be big. I mean, there are a lot of shortstops out there, but not much starting pitching out there. And that's really what the Mets are in need for. From Marco, what are your thoughts on Dom Smith? Yeah, not too crazy with Dom Smith. Defensively, he's kind of like he's getting better. Yesterday, he made a nice diving catch to save a run, but then he also made a diving catch where he just like passed the ball incredibly and approached it terribly. Personally, Dom Smith is a natural first baseman. I feel why waste him on this team where you could trade him away and get a natural left fielder. He doesn't have an outfielder arm, which is because he's not an outfielder. I mean, he's like Brett Gardner. Right? He could like barely reach the cutoff man. I mean, he has to throw it to Baez, and then Baez probably has a better arm. Simply enough with Smith. I like his bat in the lineup, but I think the defense is really something too. The bat too, he's our best hitter against left-handed pitching, so that's the benefit right now. But when we get a team that could actually hit against left-handed pitching, I won't be so serious with Dom Smith. But I think his defense is something. He's terrible eye coordination, terrible footwork. I think he could approach it, obviously, no doubt. He could fix that. I don't want to sit here and trash talk Dom Smith. He's a great guy, but that's something I really want to work with Dom Smith. Great stream. I appreciate it. I wish we signed Max Scherzer on the Mets. Yeah, Robert. I mean, Max Scherzer on the Mets would have been something. I don't really believe in this whole analogy that, you can trade a division rival to another division rival. And I understand there's the famous quote pretty much saying, if your enemy is making an error, don't intrude. Let them make it. And I mean, obviously, I think that can kind of compare to this. There's no rule saying you can't. It's just kind of why would you help them out? Max Scherzer didn't want to go to the Mets. He wanted to go somewhere on the West Coast. We know we had the no trade clause. He was really serious about it. But forget him. That's his problem. He's going to the Dodgers. Elite team. You have Kershaw. You have Scherzer. That's some Cy Young MVPs right there. So that's pretty interesting to see. Hopefully those two guys can teach each other. I would have liked Scherzer on the Mets. I think it would have been a nice move, especially right now and even in the long end. Nope, there ain't. I would sign Stroman this offseason. What do you think? Personally, it's just because we're in so much need for starting pitching. I don't care about his win-loss record. People approach that. Well, that's the offense's fault. I mean, if the Mets scored 5-6 runs yesterday, Stroman would have been fine. I think Stroman's definitely starting to come back onto reality. My problem with Stroman is he goes around claiming he's the Cy Young, all-star caliber pitcher, like he was with Toronto in 2019 and maybe in the past, and kind of hypes himself up. But we haven't really seen that with the Mets. We saw it a little bit in the first half, in the first quarter, but that was really it. So I really don't think there is a big need. I think maybe, if they were to re-sign him, I think it'd be great. But like I said, there's only so much starting pitching in this offseason. I'd probably re-sign him at this rate, in my opinion, just because that issue. But honestly, we're going to have to see. That's all we can do. From AB, Brett Gardner can't be an everyday player for us anymore. Would be a great bench piece. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to say. The Yankees pretty much let Adam Ottavino and Garrett Richards walk in the Rule 5 rule so that they could have the money to re-sign Brett Noodle Arm Gardner, who can't even reach the cutoff, man. I think the only reason they really wanted him is because he's been with this team. He has the history and the chemistry with this team in 2009. But it's yeah, that's great. But eventually you got to break off. I mean, we had the time where we had to break off with Wilmer Flores, David Wright. I mean, it's life. I can agree. I mean, I was hoping that you got, Gallo would play center field, obviously, coming ahead. But yeah, I agree with you, man. Brett Gardner, I mean, he's not, he doesn't offer much. I mean, he doesn't hit really well. He doesn't, low average or low on base percentage, if you want to look at it from that way. His defense is whatever, but he has no arm, no range. I mean, can't even reach second base. He's not a center fielder on a team that wants to compete. I agree. Marco, what's up, Hayden? Let's go Mets. I agree, man. Let's go Mets. LFGM. I like it. I like it. What do you think we'll do with Thor this offseason? Thor's Noah Syndergaard is going to be like a September call-up. He's going to come up in September, hopefully. I wouldn't sign him to a crazy contract. I'd probably sign him for a 1-year deal. Nothing crazy, just because, you don't want to risk it. Yeah, a lot of teams are in need for starting pitching, but a team like the Yankees, they're not going to want to risk it. And I don't think any team is going to want to risk a guy who's coming back from Tommy John. I'd sign him for a 1-year deal. Nothing crazy. That is what I'd do. I'd probably resign him for simply enough for a 1-year deal. You got to be careful with these guys. I mean, especially with all the injuries. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure these injuries are probably going to carry on, in 2022, I'm sure. Simply enough because, guys are going to be getting back into more of the swing of things. So I agree with you, man. I'm going 1 year on him. AB, the problem with the Mets is that they have too many guys underperforming. So I agree with you, man. Conforto right now, let's say he was playing well. Let's say he wasn't, $200 million worth, but let's say, he was hitting to an extent a high average and a high on base percentage. He was being clutch. He was able to be a contact hitter and pull the ball the other way like we expected of him. I easily think he could get something worth. But pretty much like I always say, AB, the names are here for this team. You have Pete Alonso, you have Jeff McNeil, you have Michael Conforto. The names and the history are here with the offense. It's just we're not seeing it. So I don't know. It's going to be a ride. I'm hoping this Mets team could really recover because they have to recover. Because like I said, the offense is here, the names are here. And then people say, oh, well, we have time. Well, no, because that what happened in 2019. We had our bullpen blow our games, and then we got hot, and we kind of resolved the issue to an extent, and then it was too late. That's my issue. That really is going to be the issue, I feel. Rob Manfred, what's going on? Robert, if Conforto sucks the rest of the year, we should not get him back. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I hate to let him walk because he has so much history with this team, and he's capable. He's a streaky guy. I mean, if you look at his stats, he has an on year, he has an off year. Nothing crazy like Manny Machado. I don't know. I just hate to see him walk to a team that is in need for him, and he just explodes. That's what I would hate to see. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be something with Conforto. I would like to have him back on the team. Like I said, he has the history. He has everything. It's just right now he's just stepping up there, and he just seems so lost. He's hitting the ball well. He's making hard contact. The hard hit rate, barrels, he's getting it. He's just getting it into a glove, or it's dying at the last moment, the ball. I mean, he needs to start going the other way, pull the ball opposite field. Be patient. I feel he's very patient. He's very impatient. I mean, we saw him yesterday. He took 3 pitches, didn't even move the bat off his shoulder. So that really just shows he's really lost. And I mean, you have all the stuff that's going on that isn't helping. And I think Conforto, when people say, oh, and then this is my issue with people say, oh, Michael Conforto, oh, it's a contract year, he's under pressure. Yeah, but I mean, you could play in the All-Star game and get a hit. You could hit 2 home runs in the World Series and play well. I mean, that's pretty big. I mean, the World Series, you have national TV, same for the All-Star game. So I don't know. Galapagos, what's going on? LFGM, what's going on, man? I hope you are doing well. I appreciate you tuning in. I have seen Thor. Yeah, he's been working out pretty well, I see. Merlin, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. But yeah, please, everyone, and if anyone else has any more comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to drop them in the comment section below. As always, we're going to do some more streams coming ahead. Yeah. More comments, questions, concerns pertaining to the Mets, baseball overall. So yeah, appreciate everyone for tuning in as always. Great stream. Yeah, I don't know. It definitely sounds like I'm not super happy, and Mets are in a bit of a slump. So, I could easily want to sit here and rant for 30 minutes about the Mets offense and Sandy Alderson, but we're gonna save that for later in the week. We're gonna have a nice stream for that. But we got 20 people in the chat. LFGM. If you are new to the channel, drop a like, comment, subscribe. Check out all the past videos. Let's go. Post notifications, all that great stuff. For Merlin, do I think the Mets will beat the Marlins? Like I said, I don't know if you were here before, but Marlins always find a way to beat up the Mets. It's just their history. And they're a sneaky team too. I mean, don't be fooled with their record. I would like the Mets to at least take 2 out of 2. I mean, we're facing a left-handed pitcher on Thursday. I think we're facing Jesus Luzardo tonight. So I don't know. I hope we could take something from this team. Marlins are coming off, I think, a sweep against the Yankees. So I don't think a 4-game sweep from the Mets is really that possible currently. God, so am I going to any games? Yeah, I went to a couple minor league games this season. But in terms of major league, I went to a Marlins and Blue Jays game with Ross Stripling and Sandy Alcantara. Blue Jays won. And then I'm going to a game on Thursday because the Mets are in town. Florida boy right here. The Mets are in town, so I'll be going to that game. Rich Hill against Trevor Rogers. So I get to see the Mets face some left-handed pitching, which is going to be fun. So yeah. Stoney, am I streaming the game today? I am not, but yeah, probably not. I don't know. If I do, I'll definitely put out a notification. Do you think Barrett's career is over? Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go into that too much, but I think the delays and postponements, the longer it goes on, I think it's going to get worse for him. I mean, do I think he's ever going to throw a ball again? Sure. I mean, it's just, do I think maybe he'll be this season? I don't know. And that really sucks because I mean, they gave this dude so much money, and I mean, imagine $40 million. I mean, we were willing to give this dude $40 million, but we're not willing to go to the AAV. So there's something for the Mets to realize. What time is the game starting? What time does the game start? Game starts at 7:10 Eastern Standard Time, so going to be a good game. I don't think Syndergaard's going to be very good anymore. Yeah, I mean, Tommy John's sneaky. I mean, like I said, Rojas and Hefner are really going to have to babysit this guy. I mean, one bad move, and I mean, Syndergaard's notorious for his gas, throwing hard, his fastball, and I mean, throwing 101 miles per hour for that's going to be an issue. I think he was topping out on 98 or something recently, so that's always good. But I'm just, I'm concerned going ahead. It's going to be an issue. I hope he could be some guy like his 2015, 2016 self because we need him. I mean, we need him to stay healthy, especially with this rotation. Yes, I did answer that. I like the Baez deal, but I hated it and they traded. Like I said, I mean, Robert, I agree with you. I mean, we literally traded away a top 5 prospect for a guy who may not even sign next year. He may be a rental. And besides that, I mean, it's an outfielder. I mean, we could have not traded away like a Jalen Palmer or someone like that or an Adrian Hernandez. No, we traded away a top 5 prospect who is looking like Jarren Duran. He has speed on the base pass. Yeah, he has injuries, but what outfielder, what prospect doesn't? He's 19 years old. You can get stuff out of him. And we are such limited on outfield. Our infield farm system is loaded. The outfield, you have Carlos Cortez, Khalil Lee, and that's really it. I mean, in the top 50 for the Mets. That's really it. So you're trading away guys. And, it's funny because the Mets always say, the front office, we want to build championships, not buy them. Well, this is how you build. You build by building, not trading them away. Don't be like Brody. And I feel Sandy is, and I know I'm going on this rant now, but I feel Sandy is coming for the way where he wants to erase everything that Brody did. Yeah, in the white-collared front office, sure. But not in the farm system of guys of talent. I mean, we lost Kellenick. We lost all these guys, and you're trading more away. What are we doing? I don't know. It's frustrating. It really is. Turned out Mets not signing back. Yeah, it was. And I mean, regardless of the situation, I don't want to get into that because I could just sense something going wrong. But him as a player, I mean, he's solid. Do I think he's, it's a Mickey Mouse Cy Young? Yes, it kind of is. I mean, you can't judge a pitcher off of 60 games. I mean, that would have been like saying like Julio Urias was Cy Young this year because he had like a first solid 5 games. You can't. So, and I mean, pretty much in terms of the 2020 awards, I mean, Kyle Lewis, from what we saw of him this year, has been no. Devin Williams has been about a mediocre average pitcher. I mean, Shane Bieber, I guess, deserves Cy Young. I mean, Bauer got Cy Young, we know. Jose Abreu, I guess, deserved MVP. He's pretty solid. I don't know. 2020 was a year to judge. I agree with you, Joe. I think it was definitely a blessing in disguise. I think Walker has pitched better than Bauer so far in the first half, at least. Hopefully, he could really turn it around because you're going to need it. But like I said, I mean, in terms of starting pitching, let's see. 2022 MLB free agency. Let's see. So pretty much in terms of the free agents for pitching, I mean, you'll have, let's see, all types, positions, pitcher. We'll go with starting pitcher. I mean, Zach Greinke. So you'll have Zach Greinke, Justin Verlander. I don't really want to sign a 39-year-old guy. Marcus Stroman, Max Scherzer, if they figure out. Yeah, Devin, Yusei Kikuchi is a free agent. That is true. It says here he is a free agent. Hugh Smiley, Danny Duffy. I mean, I think Kikuchi is honestly our best bet at this rate. Gausman, I don't know if the Giants are doing anything with Kevin Gausman. Carlos Rodon, who I believe they did extend. Rich Hill is going to go. Tanner Roar. Yeah, so I mean, you don't really have much guys. I mean, I think a trade is probably our best bet in terms of the offseason, but we have a whole second half to go, so I don't want to get too much into it. But yeah, definitely just it's going to be something. It really is. But we're probably going to call it a stream here. You know, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Yeah, like I said, hopefully you did hear. He will be on it. But, you know, it's going to be a season. But yeah, I mean, no, I'm not the most excited. I'm not my most energetic self, but it's just been a tough week for the Mets. So I'm hoping they could pull something out of it. Probably going to call it a stream here. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Didn't have a whole lot to talk about besides, you know, the Mets series summary and recap. And then, you know, I usually like to go more in depth with the Mets personally playing, but, you know, I just wanted to rant a little bit about the front office and stuff. But time will tell. Time will tell. Hopefully Sandy can turn it around or they can get a new guy in there. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Please, if you can, before I get out of here, give this video a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more great New York Mets and baseball content overall. And yeah, till next time, baseball fans, see ya. Let's go Mets. Let's get this W tonight, boys.